Alcohol was the only thing that allowed me to socialize with large groups of people comfortably. I was out almost every night, Tuesday through Saturday, drink in hand, having a blast.
Hello everyone, I'm Yopi from yopis.english.school. 皆さんこんにちは、Yopi でございます。本日取り上げるクリップは、アメリカで有名な作家のマークマンソン氏の I quit drinking alcohol, but did not expect this. アルコールをやめたら思いがけない結果がというもの。近年アメリカをはじめとした多くの国で健康や精神的なウェルビーイングを重視してアルコールの消費を減らすか完全になくしてしまう sober curious というムーブメントが盛んになっています。マーク・マンソン氏もあえてアルコールを摂取しないという人生を選択した一人としてなぜその決断をしたのか、どういうメリットがあったのかについて話してくれています。またクリップを見た後はクリップ内に登場したネイティブがよく使うけどあまり日本では習わない英会話フレーズを解説していきます。ぜひ最後までご覧ください。By the way, I've got the link for the original clip down in the description, so please check that out. Let's dive in.
After 22 years of heavy drinking, last summer, I decided to quit alcohol for good. There were a lot of reasons for this that I'll get into in a second, but first, there's a far more important question to start with, and that is, what are the benefits of drinking? For me, the benefits were social. Like most, I started drinking as a teenager. And as someone who struggled a lot with social anxiety and codependency issues as a young man, alcohol was the only thing that allowed me to socialize with large groups of people comfortably. I was out almost every night, Tuesday through Saturday, drink in hand, having a blast. I was married, a successful author, flying around the world, writing and promoting books. Throughout all of this, the alcohol continued to flow. But it was around this time that something started to change. Because by then, life had changed, my values had changed, and more than anything else, my metabolism had changed. My body and mind couldn't handle the booze anymore, and I cut back drastically from roughly 10 to 15 drinks a week down to just 3 to 5 per week. But then a few catalysts happened all around the same time that made me quit for good. The first was that I actually started to notice how bad alcohol made me feel. When you're having 15 or 20 drinks a week, you're pretty much constantly in a state of being either drunk or hungover. So you don't really realize the degree of damage that you're causing to yourself. But when you cut back and you're only having a few drinks each week, you open up enough gaps of clarity in your day to notice how fucking terrible you feel when you have a drink. Even just one drink, one fucking drink, and it can just ruin a whole weekend. The second thing that happened was that a lot of new research on alcohol began to come out. This research showed that alcohol is actually far worse for us than anyone initially thought. Every last drop of it. Alcohol is bad.
Alcohol is kind of a double hit. It's causing changes in our brain circuitry and neurochemistry that at the time in which we're inebriated are detrimental. And it's causing changes in neural circuitry that persist long past the time in which we're experiencing the feeling of being tipsy or drunk. If people are ingesting alcohol chronically, even if it's not every night, there are well-recognized changes in increased stress when people are not drinking, diminished mood and feelings of well-being when people are not drinking, and changes in the neural circuitry that cause people to drink even more in order to get just back to baseline before they ever started drinking in the first place.
Okay, let's talk about the benefits of quitting alcohol and why you should quit too. Number 1, less insecurity. I actually began to notice this when I cut back drinking only to a few times per month. The 2 to 3 days after I would drink, I would be more emotional the next couple days. I would get crankier, more excited, more embarrassed. But since quitting drinking entirely, I find that I am on an incredibly even keel. This has been an unexpected boon for my productivity and work. Number 2, fewer but better friends. The epiphany I had when I stopped drinking is that if I'm bored when hanging out with certain people, I should simply stop being friends with those people. For some reason, this thought never occurred to me in the 15 years that I was drinking, but now that I'm sober, it seems like the most obvious fucking thing in the world. It goes without saying, if you need to drink to enjoy a person or a thing, you don't actually enjoy that person or thing, and you should stop doing both. Sober socializing is definitely a case of quality over quantity, and I like it that way. Number 3, changed hobbies and interests. For years, I thought I was really passionate about food and fine dining. Turns out I just like getting drunk at restaurants. I thought I loved the theater and live shows. Turns out a lot of them aren't as entertaining when you're sober. I thought I liked certain events and networking groups and parties. Turns out sober Mark would rather be home. Overall, from the outside, my life probably appears a lot more boring and dull. But strangely, I'm way more satisfied and happy.
いかがだったでしょうか。日本では積極的に談笑している人が欧米に比べると少ないのかなという気がしますが、皆さんはアルコールに対してどのように向き合っているでしょうか。よければコメント欄で教えてください。 では続いてクリップ内に出てきたネイティブがよく使うけどあまり日本では習わない英会話フレーズを解説していきます。一つ目はこちら。
Last summer, I decided to quit alcohol for good. Last summer, I decided to quit alcohol for good.
For good. For good. 永遠に。このフレーズ、意味を間違えて覚えている人をよく見かけます。確かに for good と言ったら良いことのためにという意味だと勘違いしそうですが、実際には永遠にや一生という意味で使われるんです。語源としては諸説あるそうですが、何か良いことのためにという意味でもともと使われていたものが最終的に良い結論に達するとか、これ以上変化の余地がないという意味になり、結果として永遠にという意味になったという説が個人的には意味を覚えやすくていいのかなと思っています。また同じような意味のフレーズの forever との違いですが、 for good が何かが終わり永遠にそこには戻らないことを意味するのに対し、 forever は何かの状態をそのまま永遠に続けるということを意味します。彼女はその街を永遠に去ったと言いたいときは She left the city for good. She left the city for good. 彼女がその街にいたという状態が終わり、永遠にそこには戻らないことを意味するので for good が使われます。彼らの友情は永遠に続いたと言いたいときは Their friendship lasted forever. Their friendship lasted forever. 彼らの友情は変わることなく続いたので forever が使われるんですね。では2つ目のフレーズに参ります。
My body and mind couldn't handle the booze anymore. My body and mind couldn't handle the booze anymore.
Booze, booze, お酒。英語ではカジュアルにお酒というとき、この booze という言葉が使われます。ビールやワイン、ウイスキーなどアルコールの入った飲み物全般を指します。例えば、Let's pick up some booze for the party tonight. Let's pick up some booze for the party tonight. 今夜のパーティーのためにお酒を買いに行こうなんて使い方ができますね。では3つ目のフレーズはこちら。
I find that I am on an incredibly even keel. I find that I am on an incredibly even keel.
On an even keel. On an even keel. 安定した。keel とは船の竜骨部分のこと。船が even keel 安定した竜骨の状態であるとき、それはバランスが取れて安定して航行していることを意味します。転じて物事や心の状態が安定していることを示すフレーズになりました。使い方は It took some time, but our relationship is on an even keel now. It took some time, but our relationship is on an even keel now. 時間はかかったが私たちの関係は今安定している。他にもThe medication helped bring her emotion back on an even keel. The medication helped bring her emotions back on an even keel. 薬のおかげで彼女の感情は落ち着きを取り戻した。なんて使い方ができます。他にも stable や balanced など似たような意味の言葉はありますが、パッと聞いて意味が分かりづらいフレーズだからこそ覚えておく価値があります。では最後のフレーズです。
It goes without saying. It goes without saying.
It goes without saying. It goes without saying. 言うまでもなく。これも品質のフレーズです。It goes without saying that 何々で、何々なのは言うまでもないという使い方をすることも多いです。例文を見ていきます。It goes without saying that a balanced diet is good for your health. It goes without saying that a balanced diet is good for your health. バランスの取れた食事が健康にいいということは言うまでもないなんて使い方ができます。似たフレーズ needless to say を使って言い換えもできそうです。Needless to say, a balanced diet is good for your health. Needless to say, a balanced diet is good for your health. 言うまでもなくバランスの取れた食事は健康にいいです。ですね。本日は I quit drinking alcohol but did not expect this. アルコールをやめたら思いがけない結果がというクリップを見ながらネイティブが使うリアルな英語を学びました。クリップ内の英語についてわからないところがあれば時間が許す限り回答させていただきます。ぜひコメント欄で共有してください。Alright, so this is it for today. See you next time.